Show. It has been such a consistent part of our lives. Since its first night in 1954, we have witnessed 8 Olympics and had 7 presidents. There have been many imitators, but The Tonight Show has survived every assault on its faithful audience. It is the champion of late-night television.
In case you're just joining us, this is Tonight. And I can't think of too much to tell you about it, except I want to give you the bad news first. This program is going to go on forever.
The first host was Steve Allen, who'd been doing the show locally in New York for over a year. He established many of the trademarks we still see today. But the format under Allen was more varied.
Jazz music was very important during the first few years of The Tonight Show, partly because I love jazz. I'm a jazz musician myself, a jazz composer. In other instances, we would have people on opposing sides of an important issue and have political debates. We did remotes from different parts of the country as well as different parts of the city. So there was much more to the show in those days. I'm not saying it was any better, but it was a much richer mixture.
They were doing the original Tonight Show carried 3 staff singers: Steve Lawrence, Edie Gourmet, and Andy Williams. But the emphasis was on Allen's impromptu flair.
I would literally eat my meals on the show if it was mealtime. I would have my clothes fitted on the show. I would read a newspaper on the show. If something struck me funny, I would take a camera and go out in the street and talk to a cab driver. But after 3.5 years of that, a form had evolved and become solidified and then was modified by Jack Paar.
6 months after Steve Allen left to host a primetime variety show, Jack Paar took over the reins. Paar relied less on music and more on conversation and controversy.
A drama?
No, I didn't mean a trauma. I know nothing about that part of your life at all, but I'm...
Well, generally speaking, if you say what you really feel, you're going to offend somebody who feels something else, whether it be religion or politics. Not everyone liked me. I was a real pain in the ass to a lot of people. I was.
Parr's emotional outbursts were a major attraction. On February 11th, 1960, he was furious because NBC censors had deleted one of his jokes from the show the night before. Parr had often talked about leaving, and on that night, he made good on his promise.
At the 11:30 segment, which started the full network, he did a short monologue and then announced he was leaving and left.
The press is the one that's to blame for that because they didn't know what was edited. They just heard an edit, a long edit, and they put in use. NBC was wrong to have done it. But then the word spread it was obscene. And all I wanted to do was to prove it was not obscene. And I can't go out and say, I said, it's not obscene. I wanted to make such, and it worked. I caused such trouble, I was on the front page of all the papers for 2 weeks.
Here's Johnny! In 1962, Johnny Carson became the 3rd heir to the throne. He's been hosting The Tonight Show for 24 years, 3 times longer than Steve Allen and Jack Paar combined.
Basically what I am is an entertainer. And whether the show has any great sociological or philosophy behind it, I think my only philosophy is to go out and make people laugh, to amuse and to entertain them.
Carson avoids controversy. Very few know his political persuasion. What is well known is his quick wit and his slow take.
You've ever seen this show before?
Well, when I was up vomiting and all that stuff.
I like doing the show. It's just that simple. I think if you like what you're doing, and I enjoy doing the Tonight Show, you can keep a fresh outlook on it. You know, even though occasionally we have a lot of repeat guests, the trick is to come out every night and try to get something out of nothing.
Anyway, thank you for coming. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
The Tonight Show is a given. No one thinks of it ending, ever. But when Johnny Carson calls it quits, America will most certainly go through a withdrawal period. He has been such a pervasive influence The Tonight Show name should probably be retired in his honor, like the uniform of a legendary athlete. Next week, humanity and humor come together in a remarkable production, the situation comedy MASH.